Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Chapter titled Divinity and Divine Service. Text 3. Please repeat. Yaha Sva Anubhavam Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam Adhyatma Deepam Atititirshatam Thama Andham Samsarinam Karunaya Aha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam
Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam
Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam
Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Samsarina Karunaya Purana Guhyam
Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam
Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam
Tam Vyasasunam Upayami Gurum Muninam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Yasvanubhavam Akila Shruti-saramekam
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Adhyatma-deepam Atititirshatam Tamondham
Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam
Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam
व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां
तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
यः स्वानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
यः स्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितितिश्रुतां तमोऽन्धम्
अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितितिश्रतां तमोऽन्धम्
संसारिणां करुणया पुराणगुह्यम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
यस्वानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धम्
अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितितिश्रतां तमोऽन्धम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम् यः he who swa anubhavam self assimilated experienced akhila all around shruti the vedas saram cream ekam the only one adhyatma transcendental deepam torchlight adititir shatam desiring to overcome tamaha andham deeply dark material existence samsarinam of the materialistic men karunaya out of costless mercy aha said Purana supplement to the Vedas Guhyam very confidential Tam unto him Vyasasunam the son of Vyasadev Upayami let me offer my obeisances Gurum the spiritual master Muninam of the great sages Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada founder of ISKCON Translation let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him Shuka the spiritual master of all sages the son of Vyasadev who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Purport. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra and consequently he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over nescience, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materialist can get rid of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, To the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey. And although he is always harassed by his own material creations, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called jnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavata Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Shukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Shukadeva, the Bhagavata Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Srimad Bhagavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripada Sankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Shariraka Bhashya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavada school. From this introductory sloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramahamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripad Sankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get rid of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Shukadeva Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmain Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namini Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yasvan Bhavam Akila Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Deepam Aditi Shatam Tamondam Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasatanam Upayami Gurum Muninam. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge. After having personally assimilated it by experience. Hare Krishna. Here we are seeing Sutta Goswami offering his respectful obeisances unto his spiritual master, who is Shukadeva Goswami. But we see that Suta Goswami is offering his respects to his spiritual master, saying that he is the spiritual master of all sages. We can understand that when Shukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, there were so many sages gathered around. Those are all heard from Shukadeva Goswami when spoken to Parikshit Maharaj. So these sages are naturally, in one sense, receiving knowledge from Shukadeva Goswami. So they are disciples of Shukadeva Goswami. Not necessarily everybody, because even Vyasadeva was there, Sri Narada Muni was there. So Sukadeva's spiritual master, the father, Vyasadeva was also there, and Vyasadeva's spiritual master, Narada Muni, he was also there. But there are many other sages, and to all the sages, he was considered as the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada in his lecture to this particular shloka, he says that Gurum Muninam, the spiritual master of the great sages, that Vyasadeva was also present when Shukadeva Goswami was about to speak to Parikshit Maharaj. And when Parikshit Maharaj was receiving Shukadeva Goswami, that time Vyasadeva himself got up from the seat and welcomed Shukadeva Goswami. It means Shukadeva Goswami was so elevated that Vyasadeva was also getting up. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that Vyasadeva also got up when Shukadeva Goswami entered the place where Parikshit was fasting. So there are so many words which are having deep meanings in this particular verse. Of course, as Chaitanya Charitamritakara says, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashraya Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Artakaya. Not that every shloka has unlimited meanings. As we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining one particular verse in more than 61 different ways. Yeah, the famous Atmarama, Atmaramascha Munayo, Nirgrantha Purukrume, Kurvantiki Ittam Bhutagano Harihi. Yeah, so that verse is explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 61 different ways. Chaitanya Charitamrita says Prati Shloke, not that every shloka, Prati Akshara. Even an Akshara of Bhagavatam gives unlimited meanings. There are direct meanings, indirect meanings, and there may be a meaning from the inference. It may not be a direct meaning, or it may not be indirect meaning, but with particular words you may infer that this is what is said. So there are unlimited meanings. Just as Krishna is unlimited, Bhagavatam is unlimited. So there are so many meanings. Here in this particular words, we can really speak so much on any particular word. That Swanubhavam, how Sukadeva Goswami, he personally experienced Srimad Bhagavatam, and Shruti we can speak Saram, how Bhagavatam is the Saram, essence. Like that we can speak so much on this particular verse, and let me try to speak whatever I can in a short time. So here we see that the word Ekam is mentioned. Ekam refers to one. So it's clearly mentioned that this is the one literature, and Srila Prabhupada also writes in the commentary that this is the one literature. There are hundreds and thousands of literatures, and here it is mentioned Shruti Saram Ekam. It is not that one of the literature that is found in garbage of the material world, just see that. In fact, I vaguely remember someone saying me that the famous the Flipkart company, it just started with marketing books. Then later it added electronic products. Then it added many. Now it is adding groceries. Like that, there are so many. Even the Amazon is also famous for books. So it all started with marketing books. So there are so many literatures, many literatures, hundreds and thousands of literatures. There are, I think, even millions of varieties of books, even now, currently in this planet where we are right now living. There are millions of literatures. And here it is mentioned, Akila Shruti Saram Ekam. But Bhagavatam is the literature, is the only literature which is sufficient to deliver the humanity. In fact, everybody writes a literature so that they can give some information, or everybody is writing some literature so that they can try to help people understand certain things. Nobody writes literature so that this will cause damage, or at least the conception of writing something is that let me benefit the person. We want to give knowledge by writing a literature to benefit somebody. So everybody writes something so that he can benefit. The doctors may write something about a particular disease so that people can be free of the disease, or scientists may write about so many different things. He may invent something so that he can benefit, and for that he may write a book on certain things. So everything is written so that people will be benefited. But tamondam, unless one is in the real light, nobody can benefit anybody. And Shukadeva Goswami, he has assimilated what is perfect. So he is presenting that literature which will actually benefit the society. Here it is mentioned, Adhyatma Deepam. This is the transcendental torchlight. There are literatures, it may try to help us or benefit us, but actually they are not really beneficial for the person. They may consider that is beneficial, but just because one is in the grip of material existence, that's not actually beneficial. So one should present literature which is beneficial for the society, and that literature should benefit the person in the ultimate sense. One may try to benefit the person in the bodily sense, but that is always a temporary thing. But here Srimad Bhagavatam is presented by Shukadeva Goswami not for the benefit of the body, but for the benefit of the soul proper. That's why this literature is considered the essence of all literatures. One is trying to write something for the beneficial of the body, so that the body is protected, then the person is happy. But the essence of the protection of the body is the person, not the body itself. So the essence of protection should be the soul proper, and that Srimad Bhagavatam is present. This is the that literature which is going to deliver the soul. Here it is mentioned that Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guhyam. This seems to be the reason why Shukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. It is mentioned that he, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this confidential supplement. We often speak about Bhagavatam, that Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Palam Shukam Katamrita Drava Samhitam. And then the previous one, Dharma approach the Kaitava Trap Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam, that Bhagavatam is meant for the Paramahamsas. Even Srila Prabhupada, he writes here that from this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only eternal literature meant for those who are Paramahamsas. So Srila Prabhupada says that Bhagavatam is meant for the Paramahamsas. And here in the translation we see that Sutta Goswami is saying that this is spoken for the gross materialists who are suffering in the darkest regions of material existence. So both are true. Bhagavatam is meant for the Paramahamsas, as the second verse of Bhagavatam itself says, Atra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. And if somebody is saying that Bhagavatam is meant for the Paramahamsas, not for everybody, but here the verse is saying that Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guhyam. Out of so much compassion for the Samsaris. Samsari means people who are completely bereft of any spiritual understanding, who are always thinking that how I can enjoy my body. They are not all concerned about their own deliverance. To such people, out of compassion, Karunaya, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. So we should know that Bhagavatam is meant for everybody. Because everybody is samsari, everybody is in the darkest region of material existence. Tamoandam, everybody is in complete darkness. Tamoandam, Tama refers to the darkness. This whole material world is considered as darkness. That's why the Supreme Lord has to keep the sun and the moon for the light in the material world. The spiritual world is considered as Vaikunta. It means completely free of any anxieties. There is no darkness in it. There is always light. So the spiritual world is always bright and it is always self-effulgent. But the material world is always darkness, both in the matter of knowledge and also the gross sense perception of vision. There is darkness. People living in the material world are bereft of spiritual knowledge, so in that way they are always in darkness. And also, this is material world, there is no self-effulgence here at all. So, because there is darkness everywhere, the Supreme Lord has to keep the sun planet, the moon planet, so that light can be given. And along with the placement of sun by the Supreme Lord, Krishna also placed the Veda Garbha, Lord Brahma coming with the Vedas. So Veda is also present. Just as to remove the darkness of the material world, sun is placed. To remove the darkness of the materialistic people, in order to remove that darkness, Krishna gave the Vedas. And that Veda is called Shruti. And in that Veda, there are different categories. Because being in the material world, there is a necessary for taking care of the body, and also there is a necessary for living as per certain rules and regulations. So everything is perfectly set forth in the Vedas. There is Ayurveda, there is Dhanurveda, to nicely take care of the body. There is Ayurveda, and then for the defense, for the Kshatriyas, there is Dhanurveda. Then there is calculation of future and the knowing of our past life, and for that there is Jyotirveda is there, Jyotish Shastra is there. Like that, there are so many different Vedas. For everything there is a Shastra. And Veda means knowledge. So that Veda, which is known as Shruti, that Shrutis, Akila Shruti Saramekam, there are so many different types of Veda, but then the Saram is present in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that Bhagavatam dissipates the darkness of the material world. And that is presented by the great Sukadeva Goswami. And here it is mentioned that Vyasa Sunam, that Vyasadev, he himself is writing that the son of Vyasadev is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. In one of the lectures, his name was Bhaktikas Maharaj, he was saying, why should the word Vyasa Sunam be written? It can be just Sukadev, because it was Vyasa Suna refers to Sukadev. Then Maharaj was saying that maybe Vyasadev was feeling so much ecstasy that it is my son speaking the great literature, Shruti Saram Ekam, to Shukdev, to Parikshit Maharaj. So he was very happy. Sometimes, especially in India, the fathers, they become very happy when the sons, they achieve a very high position. when they become the nowadays, if the son gets a job, the father is very happy. Even if it may be a B.Tech, he may be studying B.Tech. B.Tech is like a technology. Usually, as per Shastra, technology is meant for the Shudras. So B.Tech or B.E, it's considered as low-class jobs as per Shastra. But the fathers, they become very happy. They become very happy that when they get a seat, what to speak of getting a job. When they see that my son has got some nice marks, they become very happy naturally. And when the son gets a job, then they become very happy. And when they become the project managers, or when they become the CEOs or presidents of the company, they become very happy. It's a pride. In India particularly, the fathers become very proud. In fact, they go to the relative and then they say that, see my son, he has gone to US. Though as per Shastra, crossing the ocean is considered abominable. So it's a very low class thing to go out of India because the culture of the Western countries is very bad. So in that sense, it's considered very abominable to cross over the ocean. But naturally the father becomes happy because my son, he has attained some high position. He has attained a very high position. Then generally the fathers, particularly in India, they are not very happy when their son become Hare Krishna Brahmachari. It becomes very difficult for them that they think that he is spoiling my name. They feel very bad that how I will address my relative that he has become a shaven-headed brahmachari. They see that this is a very, very insulting proposition for them. They are not very happy. They think that my son should achieve something high materially. And now he has left the material thing and now he is going after attaining some spiritual thing. So they are not very happy. But Vyasdev is not like that father. He is very happy. He is writing that Vyasasunam. He is not saying Shukadeva Goswami is speaking. He is saying my son is speaking Bhagavatam. So he is very happy. This is how the fathers of the ISKCON society should be. The fathers of, fathers means not actually the founders of ISKCON. I am just mentioning that there are so many fathers in ISKCON society. There are so many. In fact, now ISKCON is seeing a high growth of congregation members. So there are husband and wife practicing Krishna consciousness in the house. So father, mother, then they have family, then they have children. So in that way there are so many congregation members, and in this congregation members, fathers. So these fathers, these congregational fathers of the ISKCON society, they should be very happy that if their son is become a Bhagavata Pracharak. Oh, my son is preaching Bhagavatam, they should be very happy. They should not think that, okay, I have become a Hare Krishna devotee, my son, let him get a job somewhere in the IT field and let him go to America, work as a Shudra. No, they should feel bad. Oh, once the parents, they come to Krishna consciousness, they should think that how my son can become like Bhagavata, like Shukadeva Goswami. Vyasdev is so happy that my son is speaking the essence of the whole Shastra to not just Sukadeva, to Parikshit Maharaj, but to everyone gathered there. And whoever is gathered, then they are going to repeat that knowledge to others whom they will be meeting. This is Yare Dekho Tare Kaho Krishnopadesh. This Yare Dekho Tare Kaho Krishnopadesh is followed long back. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he particularly instructed whomever you meet, you should speak Krishnopadesh. But here we see that Sutta Goswami is following. He heard Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. Then when he met the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Bhargava, descendant of Bhrigu Muni, then he spoke Bhagavatam to them. And the same thing is followed by Shukadeva Goswami also. Shukadeva Goswami, we know that Shukadeva Goswami, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. But whomever Shukadeva Goswami was meeting, he was speaking Bhagavatam. That Yare Deko Tareko Krishna Upadesh was done by Shukadeva Goswami also. And it is time immemorial it's happening. Vyasadev was also hearing Bhagavatam from Narada Muni, and Narada Muni's duty is that Yare Deko Tareko Krishna Upadesh. In fact, Narada Muni, he is so wonderful that he will be doing Yare Deko Tarekaho even to the Mlechas, Yavanas, hunters. The famous example, Mrigari. He is a hunter. To him also, he gave Krishna Upadesh. And he doesn't see that male member, female member. Even to female, he will preach. We see the example of who is the mother of Prahlad Maharaj? Kayadu. So Kayadu, she is a woman. So Narada Muni spoke that there is a chance now a woman has taken shelter of my ashram, so let me take advantage. Then he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Kayadu. Yara Deko Tareko Krishna Upadesh. But being a woman, she was not much attentive, but still the son inside the womb of Kayadu, he heard, Prahlad Maharaj heard. So there was always advantage. Then he spoke Bhagavatam to Dhruva Maharaj. He spoke about the glories of chanting of the holy name. He initiated Dhruva Maharaj to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Like that, Narada Muni is always doing. Narada Muni Bhajana Vina, the famous song sung by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that he is always taking the Veena and preaching the glories of God. Bhagavatam is the glories of God. What is Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam means it's a pure glorification of Krishna. Pure glorification of Krishna. So that is done by Narada Muni. So this Yare Deka Tareka Krishna Upadesh is done by everybody. So this sloka is clearly saying that principle. It's explaining. It's saying that out of his great compassion, means out of compassion by Shukadeva Goswami to those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the deep, dark material existence, he spoke. Means he is doing Tarekaho, he is speaking the Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh means Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so that is the essence. So this is a natural thing that a Vaishnava, he is always Karunaya, he is very, very merciful. And that sloka given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yare Deka Tareka Krishna Upadesh, it refers to the Vaishnava's compassionate nature. That Vaishnava is always feeling compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. How I can deliver, how I can deliver. And when a Vaishnava thinks of delivering the conditioned soul, he thinks of giving Krishna. This is his compassion. Vaishnava's compassion is not ordinary materialistic compassion. Vaishnava's compassion is actually compassion. All other compassions are actually not compassion. All other compassions are what we can say. The compassion for the body is not actually compassion. It is its hindrance, we can say, or it is something which is harmful. Because it's really wonderful. Somebody may think how compassion can be harmful. Actually, compassion can be harmful if we do not know real knowledge. Just as somebody, the example is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, that a person was passing by the shore of the bank, then he saw that somebody has fallen into the river, and this person, he thought that okay, let me save this person. So he immediately jumped into the river and then pulled the shirt of the person and then came out and said that I have saved the person. This is actually a very foolish thing, because he did not save the person, he just saved only the coat or the shirt of the person. He was trying to be compassionate, but he was trying to be compassionate only to the shirt which was the person was covering. But the person who is actually to be saved was not saved. So we should know what is actually compassion. Otherwise, trying to be compassionate without the proper knowledge will only cause harm. The other example given, I think Srila Prabhupada gives the example that there are two brothers, and one brother was suffering from a typhoid, and then the mother saw that okay, this elder brother is having typhoid, so she restricted the brother, the eldest son from getting a food which is difficult for digestion. Otherwise, this will only going to increase his disease more. So this elder son was in a fast because of having a disease. But then the younger son, he thought that oh, my brother is suffering. He cannot. I am eating nice, wonderful dishes, but then my elder son, he is not eating properly. So let me try to please him. Let me try to be compassionate to him. So he comes with a plate of parota and then gives parotas to his elder brother, thinking that okay, my elder brother is suffering without proper food. Let me give parota. This is the best food. Everybody will love it. So this is my understanding that if he takes parota, he will be very happy. So he gives parota to the elder brother, and because the typhoid condition is still there, he becomes even more in a worse condition. So now the mother comes, and then he sees that the condition is worsened, and the reason was because the younger son gave parota. Then the mother has to beat the younger son. The younger son thought that why my mother is beating me? I am trying to be very compassionate. I am trying to do good only. I don't have any evil intention at all. I thought my brother is suffering and let me help him. But then this younger son is in ignorance that he does not know how to save. He is thinking that I am compassionate, but compassionate with improper knowledge or with compassion in the mode of ignorance will only cause more damage. So this person, he is already in a disease, in this diseased condition, he should not take things, certain things which are very difficult to digest. This knowledge was not known to this son, younger son. So similarly, people out of ignorance, if they are trying to be compassionate, they will do more harm. But Shukadeva Goswami, having received the knowledge, especially he knew the Shastra, and he assimilated the essence of the Shastra by hearing from his father Vyasadeva, and that he wanted to deliver to the compassionate souls, not any other forms of knowledge. So he is having a natural compassion for the conditioned souls. In that way, the real compassion he had by delivering Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So this is a duty for the devotees of the Hare Krishna movement, ISKCON movement, to be compassionate to the fallen conditioned souls on the spiritual platform of giving the standard of knowledge. There may be other sorts of compassion which may be requisite, but the real compassion is to deliver the conditioned soul from material existence, and that is given by Shukadeva Goswami, and that is to be distributed. So samsarinam karunayaha. So we should be merciful by delivering Bhagavatam to the conditioned souls. We should not try to deliver any other thing which may cause harm. So one should first situate themselves. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that Bharat, what is the words? Bharat Bhumite hoila manushya janma yar janma sartaka. First, you know what is real compassion. Janma sartaka. First you understand the real compassion. Then kari kara paropakar. Then you try to do upakar, benefit for the others. If you don't know what is compassion, then you may harm the person, just as the younger brother harmed the elder brother. So we should perfect our existence by knowing Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we should distribute Bhagavatam to others also. And definitely Bhagavatam is real compassion. Just as somebody may not know, because someone may ask, so one should first study Bhagavatam and distribute Bhagavatam. That's not necessary, because Bhagavatam is the essence which is already concluded, and that is the real compassion to be given. That can be given, not that you have to assimilate and then only distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. It is already assimilated, and that is already given to us, and it can be delivered. Just as if somebody is having a fever, and if you have the knowledge that giving this particular tablet will cure, then you can give it. Even if a child takes the tablet without the knowledge of that it is giving a thing which is beneficial, still the person who receives will get the benefit. So with knowledge or without knowledge, one can distribute Bhagavatam, and definitely a person without knowledge will get so much benefit, and who is with knowledge, he will like a Paramahamsa, he will hear Srimad Bhagavatam, relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's try to do that. Let's hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's give Srimad Bhagavatam to everybody. In that way, we can also be a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami. We can also be a person who is having a bona fide compassion, not a materialistic compassion. So let's be compassionate, just as Vyasadeva was so compassionate and gave his son to deliver Srimad Bhagavatam. So let all the parents of the ISKCON society or all society be compassionate to deliver their son also, to deliver Srimad Bhagavatam to others. Hare Krishna. So I stop here. Any questions, comments?
So Vyasadeva is asking, means he is writing what Sukadeva Goswami spoke and what Suta Goswami spoke. But he heard before speaking to Sukadeva Goswami from Narada. That means he wrote a little later after receiving instruction from Narada.
Yeah, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam after he himself heard from Sukadeva Goswami. He himself means he is hearing again. Just as we many times hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Many would have read 3 times, 4 times. And still they will come and sit in another devotee's class. When a Bhagavata is giving a class, not that he has already read Bhagavatam couple of times, that I don't want to hear. Bhagavatam is such a thing that you always want to hear. It is always fresh. Just as every day we are seeing Krishna and we are not thinking that, oh, I saw Krishna yesterday, oh, I have to see him today. No, we are very happy to see Krishna again. Every day we are seeing, and we are seeing that our pleasure in seeing Krishna is increasing day by day. Oh, now Krishna is so beautiful, more beautiful, more beautiful. In fact, the more you see Krishna, you want to see him more. So similarly, the more you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will feel that, okay, now I have read. That conception will come only in materialistic literature. That when you read once, some information you will gather. Second time, you won't feel like reading, but still, even if there is some rasa, they think, then they may try to read, and then they will feel that the rasa is now reduced. I thought this book is having some rasa, so I'll read, but now the rasa is reduced. Then the third time, it's more reduced. Then after some couple of times you have read, you see that there is no more rasa in it. But Bhagavatam is not like that. When you read Bhagavatam, then second time you read, oh, this is more fresh now. Then you want to read more. The rasa actually increases. This is Anandam Ambudivardhanam. It only increases. Nigamakalpur Galitam Palam Shukumakat Amrita Dravasamitam Pivada Bhagavata Rasamalayam. This Rasamalayam is not a small rasa that it limitations. This Rasamalayam is unlimited rasa in it. So we keep on enjoying more and more. So when Vyasadeva, he heard from Narada, he was very happy to hear. And when he spoke to Sukadeva Goswami, he was very happy to speak. And when he was hearing from Sukadeva Goswami also, he was very happy. In fact, Vyasadeva, he is writing that Suta Goswami spoke. Then he could see what Suta Goswami is also speaking to Saunaka Rishi, because he is Trikalanya, he could foresee. So as per Bhagavatam itself, he has already heard from Sukadeva Goswami, and he knew that Suta Goswami was also speaking. Then later he wrote. Because after Suta Goswami has spoken to Saunaka Rishi, only Bhagavatam is written, means personally written. So it's long back. During Parikshit Maharaj's time, Bhagavatam was in the form of hearing, like a Shruti, heard. Bhagavatam is always there, but personally when we say Bhagavatam, preferably when we say that Bhagavatam, we say that it was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. But it was many times spoken. As I think in the last class I was just speaking how Bhagavatam itself says that it was spoken long back. But it is generally known as Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, because we are coming after, so most we can relate that. So it is like that.
Prabhupada was there. Then we told that Sukdev Goswami is spiritual master, and the spiritual master of Sukdev Goswami were there together. But Sukdev Goswami was giving the class. So, but we see that it is not general etiquette. The Guru is sitting, and the spiritual master is sitting there. Then how can you give class in front of them?
Where such etiquette is mentioned?
Means generally we see in general etiquettes.
Actually spiritual master, they come and sit in disciples class also. I have also personally seen at our Guru Maharaj, Sunas Bhaktika Swami, he comes and sits when his disciple is giving class. And we see that many spiritual masters, they sit and hear classes when grand disciple is giving class in Mayapur Dham and all. But the thing is that they will have an elevated place. See, if a disciple is in this place, then when a spiritual master sits, he will be having a more elevated place because he is hearing Bhagavatam. We can hear Bhagavatam from anybody. But the etiquette is that disciple will have a position lower, so that etiquette will be there. So we can hear. So when we see that Vyasadeva heard, then this is proper that the spiritual master can hear from his disciple. This is the conclusion. Because Vyasadeva himself heard, Narada himself heard. From means it's a grand disciple, not just a disciple. His disciple is Vyasadeva and Vyasadeva disciple is Sukadeva Goswami. So he is like a grand disciple, but still Narada Muni was happily hearing. So the etiquette is that a spiritual master, it's not etiquette, it's just a natural tendency for anybody to hear Bhagavatam from anybody. If a Bhagavata is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, what to speak of the other elevated Bhagavatas, even the Supreme Person of Godhead himself comes and sits and hears. That we see, that we see in many great Vaishnavas' life, that Krishna himself heard. Or this Suridas, somebody from Maharashtra. It's a very, I don't know, that he himself will come and hear what is spoken. And many times we see in Ramayana that Rama was himself hearing. He himself is hearing. So the Supreme Lord himself comes and hears about his glories. But they will have a elevated position accordingly. That etiquette we should follow. But hearing Bhagavatam, anybody can do.
There is one instance in Bhagavatam. One king receives a Brahmana, and then when he is supposed to hear, then he came down from his throne. He heard.
Some stories like that. I think it's Janaka Maharaj. Bhagavatam. At least Kaliga people can read many times Bhagavatam because we forget. Certain things we'll always remember, at least the core things we'll remember, but sometimes we forget. So definitely we should read again and again. Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.